Hello, and welcome to the webinar on Mastering Digital Content with WoodWing Swivle. I'm Magdalena. I'm a Product Marketing Manager at WoodWing, and I will be your moderator for this webinar today. We have a lot of interesting topics to cover together with our speakers, and we hope that you'll stay until the end to join the discussion because we have a Q&A section reserved. And of course, also make use of an exclusive offer for you all. Before I announce the agenda and our speakers, I'd like to briefly remind you that you can ask any questions throughout the webinar in the right side panel of Webinar Geek. And we will, of course, make time at the end to provide you with answers. So to begin with, let's go through the agenda briefly. So I'm going to start away with the key takeaways you're going to get from this webinar session today. And after that, my colleagues will move forward with demystifying the DAM, getting value from the DAM, what it means, and meet WoodWing Swivle with a nice demonstration and an interesting use case that we have to showcase. Our speakers for today are Marshall Mobley. He's our Manager of Global Customer Success. He's calling from the US. And Jouke Jongsma, he is the Product Manager of WoodWing Swivle, joining us from the Netherlands. Welcome, gentlemen. So the key takeaways for this session are the following. You'll get insights into what makes a DAM different. Then how to get the value of a DAM system in your technology stack. Afterwards, another key takeaway would be how WoodWing Swivle can help you streamline your content workflows. And what are the steps to kickstart your DAM journey with WoodWing Swivle? Well, I'd like to, as a warm-up, before Marshall starts with the intro, I'd like to run a quick poll for everyone so we can understand the industry vertical you are or our attendees operate in. So if you look into the right, you'll see the question in the right side panel. And the question is as follows. Which industry vertical does your business belong to? I'm looking forward to receiving all of your input, and I will, of course, provide you with the metrics or the statistics of this poll question after I end the poll. So eagerly awaiting your feedback. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Thank you. It's interesting to see. We have around 30% publishing industry. We have 10% agencies. We have 10% retail. And a lot of you are actually in the other, which is an industry that does not fit the one numbered before. We have 3% manufacturing, 6% education. I'm going to end the poll for everybody now. Thank you, everybody, for responding. Yes. So majority is publishers. Then we have agencies, manufacturers, education, and of course, other industry verticals. Now, let's get back to the presentation. Marshall, would you do me the honors to start with your part?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. Welcome. And so glad that you could join us today. Today, I want to talk a bit about just the understanding what a DAM is and what it does and what it can do for your business. I think in a lot of cases, right, a lot of people kind of see the concept of DAM and they're really wondering like, hey, how does this really benefit me? I hear it's something that I need. I hear it's something that will benefit my business. I know that it's a way of storing and utilizing different digital assets, but what does that really mean for me and for my business, right? And as we talk a bit about just kind of the definition of a dam, right? The definitions can be pretty long and wordy, and talk about images and videos and different pieces of content and organizing and tagging and things like that. But what does it really do, and what does it really do for your business? And really, a simple way to look at it, right? Other than just as I think the famous comedian George Carlin once said, right? All we want is a place for our stuff. It is so much more than just a place for our stuff, but it's really a tool that allows us to collect all of the digital assets in our business and keep them in one place. It allows us to utilize data and searchability that allows us to find all the things that we have quickly and easily and efficiently. It allows us to work with those things within the tool, right? So not only can we collect things there, right, but we can workflow some things. We can manage those things. We can check them out, and we can modify them. We can pass them around. We can share them, right? And that's the the final part of what a dam can do for your business, right? Is really the shareability, right? And being able to put resources out into the world, right? Not just with your internal teams, but with external stakeholders as well. But what really makes a dam different in that case? Because that sounds great. Everything that you shared with me, I feel like I could do with a file share or with Dropbox or with Google Drive, right? So what really makes a dam unique in this respect? And there's a few things, right? One is just high availability, right? Rather than storing stuff on your network or in a specific location, right? A dam is, especially a cloud solution type dam, is always there, always on, always available, right? And there are aspects of it that can be made available for all constituents and stakeholders that you're working with. Centralized. So the dam gives you the ability to really put everything from a content standpoint, from a resource standpoint, from a digital asset standpoint in one place. And so that allows you to holistically have a handle on all of your assets and be able to utilize them no matter what team, no matter who the stakeholder is. It is all in one place. It is highly searchable. More so than other solutions, right? A dam allows you not just to search by the names of assets or by other rudimentary attributes of those assets, but it really allows you to assign any and all attributes that you need that allows you to find things in a specific way that's really relevant to you and your processes and your business cases. There's a history or audit trail, right, which really allows you to not just see the current state of an asset, right, but see what you've done in the past with that asset. Allows you to go back and find an audit trail to say, hey, who changed this? Who made modifications to this? And oh, what did it look like, right, in its previous incarnations? And finally, the dams are highly shareable resources, right? There are ways to allow people, not just inside your organization, but outside of your organization to really utilize the assets that you have collected in your dam. So that's really what sets a dam apart other than other types of solutions. And that's all good, right? But the question often comes, right? How do I really get value from that, right? If you're here today, then I'm imagining that you're considering a dam, exploring dam solutions, thinking about a dam, and you're a business, right? And the key thing in any business, right, is if I'm going to invest in a solution, if I'm going to invest in a tool, right, well then how do I get the value from my investment, right? And one of the things that we say in our industry that I think is really important to keep in mind here, right, is that tools don't produce outcomes for your business, right? They don't produce value, right? Really changing behavior around a tool, right, empowered by the tool, is what really creates value for your business. So one of the things that I see as I talk to a lot of customers is they get into a dam solution and they use it like a big bucket, right? They just take all of their resources, assets, or maybe not even all, but just some of them, put them into the dam, and then say, okay, here are all the things. Go find them, go use them. But they're not really seeing any real benefit, and that's because their behavior hasn't changed around the unique qualities and capabilities of a dam. So what does that look like? And you'll have to bear with me here, and I'll apologize up front. A lot of the cases that I talk about, I kind of frame specifically around certain industry types. We saw, according to the poll, that we got a lot of publishers here, and we've got a lot of others. I would love to know more about who the others are and what kind of businesses you're working in. But I frame these in kind of three different contexts. One is retail, one is manufacturers, and one is agencies. But I hope that you're able to see that the things that I talk about for these specific businesses also apply to a lot of other types of businesses as well. So let's dive in. So in the case of retail, right, the top need for retail and for a lot of businesses, right, is really organization. You get lots of things from lots of places, and it can be a bit of chaos, especially if those assets or those resources are scattered across different places. They're in file shares, they're in places on the internet, they're in Google Drive, they're in SharePoint, right? Organization is really a huge need for a lot of businesses, largely because of speed. Right? If you need to put together something for your business, whether that's a promo, a social media post, a flyer, a circulation, you need all of the assets around your specific products that you are selling in one place, so that you can get them all together, organize them into a project, and get them into the content that you need to produce. Now, how does that work? Well, really by utilizing some key of a DAM, things like centralization. And while centralization might sound pretty rudimentary, one of the things that I see typically is that people will get a DAM and they'll put just a certain portion of their resources or assets into the DAM. And really the value of the DAM comes in when you have all of your resources in the DAM. So putting everything in one place really allows you to have everything centralized, and now you know exactly where to go to pull all the things together for your projects, for your content, and it moves so much faster and so much more seamlessly. But then there's also utilizing metadata. Typically, when you have to, whether it's producing content or organize projects, right, in a retail business and in a lot of businesses, that's around a specific product. It's around a specific line of products, a specific distributor or manufacturer, and you need to get all those resources that relate to that specific attribute quickly and easily. And metadata and really thinking through how you do metadata really allows you to do that. Right. So if you've got a certain brand that you work with and you want to pull together all the resources that you have for that brand, metadata will really allow you to do that in seconds, as opposed to minutes or even hours, or sometimes days in some cases, depending on where all of those things live. And that really leads to searchability, right? When I need to find the resources that I need in a just-in-time sort of fashion to pull together a project, it's really utilizing things like metadata, or even to go further than that, the indexing of content within certain file types, right? You've got documents, you've got promo materials. If you don't remember a specific attribute about a product, but oh, I remember the tagline, I search for the tagline and it's in a document, I'm going to find that document through the searchability in a DAM. So that's retail. But let's talk about agencies. And what is really the top need for an agency? Well, top need for an agency, and really a top need for just a significant amount of businesses, is collaboration. We need to be able to work together on the same things in real time. And a DAM allows you to pull everything together, gives you a single source of truth, so that everybody knows, hey, for this project, the team goes here, this is where we work on things. But how does that look? How does that work? And really how that works, right? First of all, just by utilizing some elements of basic workflow, which a DAM can give you. There are things like statuses or assignments that allow you to see at a high level, well, both at a high level and in a detail way, where are things at, right? If you're working on editing an image, if there's a document that's being worked on, basic workflow can allow you to see, hey, where is this at? What's the next step? Where does this need to go? And it also allows you to see, hey, who's responsible for this right now? And there's a lot of power in this, especially if you're somebody who's tasked with working on some of these materials, being able to log into the DAM and have a specific view that tells you, hey, this is everything that's assigned to you, and that's at a specific status where you need to work on it now. So it just creates a great deal more efficiency in doing the work. There's integration. Integrating a DAM with a project management tool, whether that's a Rike or a Monday.com, can really unleash a lot of the power for agencies and a lot of project-based businesses, because then you get the power of the project management tool, so you can really start to manage the project from that side. But then, project management tools are not great for containing and utilizing and working with the resources in that project, and that's really what the power of a DAM does for you. And so combining those two with an appropriate integration can really unleash the power of both of those. And then again, there's the aspect of shareability. The sharing tools in a DAM will really allow you, if you're working on client-based projects, for example, like an agency does, you can create a share link for a client that says, hey, I need logos, I need copy, I need resources from you as a client, and here's a place where you can put them. And that allows the client to put those things right into your DAM. There's no need for a WeTransfer or a some other means of going and fetching the things from the client, but the client can put them right into your system. And likewise, when it's time to deliver finished work to your clients, you can also create share links and say, hey, here's where you can go and pick this up from quickly and easily. And share links can also allow you to do things like reviews and approvals. So if you want a client to weigh in on an image or a font choice or a document, there's actually ways to be able to do reviews and approvals through a DAM solution. So that's really how some of the ways that you can unlock the power of a DAM for an agency and a lot of other project type businesses. But one final one I'll talk about here is manufacturers. And the need for manufacturers here is really distribution. Manufacturers create a lot of content around their products, whether that's product manuals, images, descriptions, price sheets. There are a lot of just different types of assets and pieces of content that go into the manufacturing business. The challenge, right, is that people who use those products, people who sell those products, need access to those resources. And so distribution is really a strong need for manufacturers, getting those assets and content out into the world where they can be used, but not having to do it in a way that's manual or requires a lot of effort on the part of the workers of the manufacturing business. So if you're in a business where you need to share out a lot of stuff, a DAM can really help here. So one way a DAM can help is by appropriately using metadata again. Right, tagging resources appropriately so you can find, like, hey, here's everything that relates to this product, right? Or if there's a SKU or a product number or serials, things like that tie to your products, and you want to find the resources that relate to that specific metadata, you can do that quickly and easily in a DAM. Utilizing history. One of the things about products, right, is that they change, and the resources around those products change. And rather than having a giant pile of every version of a product manual that you've made, for example, you can have one instance of that product manual and see each version within that one particular asset. So if you wanted to say, hey, what changed in this product manual, or how did this look, in the last revision, right? I can just go and find that previous version and not have just a giant flood of files for each version that I create, but they're all condensed and centralized into one representation of that manual. And then again, shareability. And in a DAM solution, you have things not just like share links, but also like portals. And portals can have a lot of power because you can make certain aspects or certain areas of the DAM available to, say, like resellers or people who are authorized to support or work with your products, so that they can go in a self-service way and collect all of the things that they need. So if they need pricing sheets, if they need sales collateral, brochures, things like that, they can go and fetch them themselves instead of coming to you and saying, hey, where can I find this? Or hey, send me this thing. So it really takes a lot of the heavy lifting off of the manufacturer themselves and really empowers the stakeholders of the manufacturing business to self-service. But lastly, one of the things I'll talk about is like how does the power of a DAM apply to any business? And again, I'll repeat myself a little bit here, but I think these things are really important in terms of deriving value out of a DAM. And again, I'll hit on the aspect of centralization. Right? You want the power of speed, you want the power of efficiency, you want the power of collaboration. Having all of your assets in one place, appropriately tagged and organized, is really where you start to see the power of a DAM, where you can have everything centrally located, and that leads to this idea of self-service, right? I often say that having a DAM really means never having to ask where something is, right? There really should be, if somebody comes to you and says, hey, where can I find this? It really should be kind of an eye roll conversation, like, did you look in the DAM? Have you checked the DAM? It should be here, right? That should always be the answer to the question, to the point where people should be able to answer it themselves so that they can find their own things. I had a conversation with a marketing department recently, and they said one of the things that they spend so much of their time doing is just finding collateral and resources for people and emailing them, which is grossly inefficient. So self-service is a huge power unlocker for a DAM. And then lastly, integration is a great way to unlock the power and the value of a DAM, whether that's connecting to a product information management system or an ERP or even an e-commerce platform, right? If you've got content or resources that can be potentially monetized, then connecting to an e-commerce system is a great way to unlock the ability to monetize. I work with customers where they have historic images that they own the rights to, that a lot of people want to use in publications, right? And they have highly monetizable content, and a DAM is really the starting point for really driving the monetization of that content by having it centrally located and then being able to share that out with something like an e-commerce platform through an integration. So lots of possibilities, lots of ways that that a DAM can be utilized to really create efficiency, speed, really maximizing the power of your assets, right? Assets are only as valuable as the use that you get out of them, and the DAM is the tool that really enables and empowers that usage. So thanks so much, and back to you, Magdalena.
Thank you, Marshall. Thank you for this nice story to really grasp the value of having a DAM in your organization, regardless of the industry vertical. Before we proceed with the part where we deep dive in the product showcase by Jouke, I would like to ask another question to the audience. And this question is also correlated to something that was mentioned earlier. Mainly, my question is, what is the most significant decision-making factor for introducing a DAM in your organization? So is it cost? Is it lack of resources? Is it lack of value perceived by decision makers? Is it the security issues that you are baffled with or concerned with? An unclear ROI, or maybe you have other priorities within your organization? Looking forward to receiving everybody's responses in a couple of seconds. Yes, to everybody that's watching, please mind the question on the right side panel of the Webinar Geek panel, so you can see and provide us with your response on the most significant factor that is disabling you to introduce a DAM in your organization. All right, so I'm gonna end the poll. I do see quite an interesting output. I have to admit that majority, over 25%, say that cost is the issue. Then we have 20% with lack of resources, and 15% of yes, and 15% with the a lack of value perceived by the decision makers. Only 12% answered that there is an unclear ROI, and 22% chose the button with other priorities in their organization. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna move forward by asking Jouke to take over the screen and start with the product showcase. Thank you, Jouke.
Thank you, Magdalena. Hello, everybody. So I will demonstrate how WoodWing Swivle can transform the way your teams collaborate and manage digital assets. So during the demonstration, I will highlight 3 popular features of Swivle. So we will start with the share links. So share links allow you to send a hyperlink to anyone who needs access to a specific file or folder in Swivle, and with the share link you can easily share your files for approval and or feedback. The brand portal. So the brand portal is a customized and simplified version of Swivle. The portal can be used to showcase your files to your clients, customers, or partners. And the InDesign plugin. And the InDesign plugin is a feature that enables you to work on an InDesign file with all your team members in real time without leaving Swivle. So you can check out a file, make changes, and check it in again. And Swivle automatically creates versions and backups. And during the presentation, I will show you how this works in a bit more detail. For the demonstration, we created a fictive fashion brand called Vintage Vixen. For this brand, we will be working on the creation of a lookbook for the new summer-spring collection. So during the demo, we will go over the journey of photos being shot, files being uploaded and transformed into a lookbook. And the final step is sharing the new lookbook among the resellers of the Vintage Vixen brand. So with the help of the Swivle brand portal. Here we have the brand, so Vintage Vixen, and brand specialized in vintage inspired clothing. For this example, we put together a team that are all involved in the process. So we have Ben, our marketing director, Sarah, our freelance photographer, Jordan, the retail brand manager at Vintage Vixen, and finally Sophie, our graphic designer, working at an agency. For a better experience, we pre-recorded the demo. So let's start now the video. Okay, over to the demonstration. Let's start with our photographer, Sarah. Sarah has just completed a vintage themed photo shoot. Sarah has received a Swivle share link from the Vintage Vixen marketing team. And with the help of the share link, she can directly upload all the files from the photo shoot into Swivle. All the files will end up in a predefined folder. During upload, she's also able to add multiple keywords like fashion, vintage, and 2020. This way, it is easier with those metadata tags. It is easier for the marketing team to find the correct files later. Okay, so we have now uploaded the files. Done by our photographer, Sarah. Let's move over to Sophie. And Sophie, in our example, is a graphic designer at an agency. In the email from Sophie, she has received a notification that files have been uploaded to Swivle for the photo shoot summer spring 2024. Sophie can now directly access all those files from the main interface of Swivle. So here we have all the files just uploaded by Sarah. And on the right, we have an overview of all the metadata. So we have the manually added tags, but we also make use of auto tagging done by Amazon Recognition. And you see there are general tags automatically added to files. This happens during upload of the files. So this makes it very easy to find files later by any member of the team. The next step is the creation of a lookbook for the upcoming spring-summer catalog. Our lookbook catalog design is created in Adobe InDesign. So let's go to the file. The file is located here. The only thing what Sophie needs to do is check out the file. So the InDesign file is opened in InDesign. Here we have the file. And now Sophie would like to change the cover image of the file. Let's go to the uploaded file by our photographer, select the file. I like this one, and we can drag and drop the file onto the layout. Here we have the new cover image. The great thing is that if we go back to the InDesign file, we have an overview of all files that are used in this layout that are saved in Swivle. So we can always keep track to see what files are used in the individual InDesign layouts. It also works other way around. So we can see that this file is placed on this InDesign lookbook layout. Okay, let's go back and let's make a change to the file. The file's opened in Photoshop. I would like to go for a black and white version. Black and white, save, close. And you can also see that the original placed file is also changed in a black and white version. The great thing is that we keep track of the original, of all the different editions. So we always still have the original file, but now because we make changes and the file is used, there's a connection. If we change it in Swivle, the changes are pushed to the layout. If you change it in the layout, the changes are pushed back to the individual file in Swivle. So very useful integration. Only thing now we need to do is save the whole layout. And here we have the new lookbook. Okay, so Sophie finished the file. Now she needs feedback from Ben, the marketing director. On the draft version of the look, she will share the file. She creates a share link. She adds a small description and asks if he can review the file. She's totally fine if he only has access to the preview version, but she would like to receive approval or reject or comment directly in the metadata of the file. She's saving the file. This is the share link. Ben is opening the share link and he can directly provide feedback on the file. He's going to reject the file because he thinks the logo should be a bit bigger. He's saving the file. And now the great thing is that the approval state and also the comment is pushed back to the original file. So Sophie can have a look in the metadata of the file, browse down, the file is rejected, and we have the comment. Okay, the final step is done by Jordan. Jordan is the retail brand manager for Vintage Fiction. He has access to the lookbook and he would like to promote the lookbook on the brand portal of Vintage Fiction. He creates a promotion folder, selects the lookbook, and now everybody that has access to the brand portal of Swivle, so all the retailers that sell the fiction brand have now access to the latest lookbook. This is the final step in our demonstration, so I hope you liked it and hope it was relevant. Thank you. So I hope the demo was useful. So before we finish the webinar, I'd like to go briefly over a few nice other features of Swivle that weren't addressed during the demo. So WoodWing Swivle is a cloud-based DEM solution, which makes that you can store, access, and share the assets from anywhere, anytime. We often hear that a lot of users really like our user interface. So we think it's very intuitive. Swivle also offers a lot of sharing features, including very granular permission setup. And of course, Swivle can be integrated with other applications and tools using the APIs. And of course, the DEM system keeps also tracks of all the changes that have been made to files saved in Swivle. So here we have a small overview of our happy customers. And everybody that would like to try out Swivle themselves, on this URL, you can start a trial, and you can start a 40-day trial and test out the product yourself. I think that's it. Let's go over the questions.
Yes, we have several questions. The first one is, are all the features shown in the demo available in the paid Swivle product? I believe this is best answered by you, Jouke.
Yeah, sure, I can answer that. So Swivle has 3 packages, and most of the features shown during the webinar are available in all the packages. Only the InDesign plugin is only available in the 2 largest packages, so the Grow and Scale, not in the kickoff plan.
Okay. I have used Swivle more than a month ago. I believe my trial has expired. Is it possible that I get an extension of my Swivle trial?
Of course, yeah. We can do that, no problem. Please reach out to us if you want to have an extended trial period. So, of course.
Okay. There is another question. Is Photoshop integrated with the DAM, or do you need your own license with Photoshop?
The last, yeah.
Okay, Michael Hogers. Yes, you need a license for Photoshop. Andrew Carbone is asking, what are the main differences between WoodWing Swivle and WoodWing Assets?
One big difference between WoodWing Assets and Swivle is the ability to create what we call front-end integration. So integrate Swivle with other products. For example, with the PIM system can be done using the APIs, but we're not able yet to integrate those parts of the other application in the product itself. So this can be done in Assets, and Assets also comes with single sign-on. Currently, we are working on adding single sign-on to Swivle as well. And of course, there are some smaller differences, but those are very important differences currently.
Thank you. And I believe this one could be best answered by Marshall. How easy or hard it is to implement WoodWing Swivle?
So yeah, I can definitely answer that. I think that the ease or difficulty of it really depends on the complexity of your business. And in some cases, like with smaller teams, more straightforward processes, implementing a DAM is fairly easy and fairly simple. And I think in either case, right, it really just comes down to coming up with a plan. The biggest mistake that I see with people trying to implement a DAM is they set up a DAM, they get in and they just start throwing things in it, and they don't really stop to consider how best should this be organized, what processes are we trying to run through the DAM, and so how should we organize, tag, what's our strategy for really, getting the maximum benefit out of a dam. So I'd say that's probably the most important part. And it's not a bad thing to have some consultation around that as well. But for the most part, unless you're dealing with a lot of integrations, really complex workflows, a significant number of external stakeholders, usually implementing a dam is pretty simple.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for explaining the business use case. There's one other last question because we are coming to a close. I believe this one is for Jouke again because it's a bit technical. Have you added more capabilities to the WoodWing Swivle API? We were curious if any enhancements have been made recently.
Yeah, we are currently adding extra functionality to the API. So I don't know what functionality you are missing. So maybe please let me know what you are missing. And I don't know on top of my head if there's a match with what you're looking for and if we are currently offering, but we are indeed adding extra functionality to the APIs.
Thank you. And a last question from Michael. If you have a large video file and edit it from the DAM, is there also integration with example Premiere Pro, and would you lose a lot of wait time before it opens and when saving after the editing? Long question.
Yeah, I understand the question. Not really. So we don't have really an integration with Adobe Premiere. No. So video is another topic that's we don't have all the functionality yet for that. Thank you.
And Brent, you're you're very welcome. Please reach out directly to us at sales@swivle.com, and we will respond in more detail about your question. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We answered quite a lot of questions from the audience. I would like to thank everybody that joined us today live during this live session. To all that subscribed for this webinar, of course, they will receive the recording afterwards. I would like to thank you, Jouke, and Marshall for your extensive definition of a dam and demystifying and just showcasing the value and the features and highlighting the important features in this demonstration. I would like to ask everybody that after this webinar ends, there's going to be a call to action for booking a demo or booking a call with one of our agents in case you want to learn more about Swivle. So thanking everybody for their time. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and hope to see you again next time. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.